Well, hello, and welcome to the podcast today. Thank you for joining. I am here with my partner once again, Miss
Carolina Alvarez.
Thank you for joining me today.
Thank you.
Now, this is kind of like an impromptu podcast. I've never done that. Usually they're all planned out, right? Yep. I try to have everything covered, but today I'm working. It's something I had to get off my chest. So today what we're going to talk about is grief.
Yep, very important topic.
And something that affects many people, and it's really hard to get over. So the reason it was so impromptu is because this morning I had I felt really bad, right? Because anybody that knows me knows my dad passed, and I've been handling it pretty good. Me and my dad had a really good relationship, as good as we could have it under our situations. But I don't know. I was really tight with him. So it was really hard for me. I'm usually the type of person that is okay with death. Not okay with it, but
yes,
right?
A very interesting perspective with death.
It's actually the most surest thing we got, right? And I see it as more like a celebration that we got the opportunity to be here. He wasn't perfect. Made mistakes like we all do. Mm-hmm. But boy, was he a good dad. This dude he was a good dad, and I have most of my great memories as a childhood was with him. Mm-hmm. He was definitely a different type of dude. He nobody messed with him, for sure. So this morning I woke up, I wasn't even thinking about it. I pick my times when to think of things, right? You know that. I'm very controlled with that. Like, I'll say, okay, right now I want to be sad about this, but this was like...
Came in.
Yeah. And it was the last words I got from, like, the last conversation I had with him. So... I thought, why not talk about grief? I don't talk about my dad. I don't like using that for anything that I do, but this could help somebody, right? Because talk about grief.
Grief is something that all of us will experience at some point in time, and multiple times in our life. Yeah. And grief is not only about the death of a family member, losing a relationship, closing something in your life, closing a chapter. So grief is an emotion that we are supposed to feel.
Oh, that's interesting. Because, that's the thing. I don't think a lot of, even me, you don't think about the grief like as anything else other than somebody dying. But when you break up with somebody that you loved, that's grief. It's probably it's all the same feeling, kind of, right? A loss. Mm-hmm. So what's a good thing for people to do about it?
Well, so grief it has stages and is not linear. It goes in cycles, and you can go through the different stages of grief and then come right back and start all over again. The healthiest thing that I can recommend is to start therapy when you're going through it, because it's an opportunity for you to talk openly with someone that has nothing to do with you and that's ready to hear you, so you can process all of the things, the good, the bad, the not so good. And, and just accept that it's like you're on this boat and you have to ride that wave. If you pretend that it's not happening and you hide it, or you put it away in a box, that's unhealthy, because it's going to come out 10 times more later on in life. So get on the boat and ride it.
Yeah, but does it ever go away? Like, is that like, I don't know. Like, does it ever like leave? The pain, or like, I don't know. That's hard, right?
It's very hard. And until I lost my own dad 4 years ago, I never understood this sentence until that time. It's not that you stop feeling the pain. What you do is you get better at learning how to manage the pain. That never goes away. It's always there. These were your loved ones. These is the people that you love. So it's supposed to.
And how are you supposed to process it? Not supposed to, but what's the healthy way of, besides counseling?
So other ways of, like, if I have a client that comes into my session and they're dealing with it, the first thing we'll get to is to writing. Write about the person, write about your feelings, write, journal. Take time to be in your own thoughts about those feelings, those thoughts, those memories. I will start there.
I don't think I did it right.
Okay. What did you do?
I don't think I did it right. I don't think I went through the process, because one of the problems was when it happened, there was a lot of stuff in the background, which I won't talk about to not put other people's business out there. But I came to work the next day and I worked through it. Like, I remember I was just, I don't know, I was crying while working, because it's the problem when you have an organization, or when you're so-called leader of the organization, there's no shut-off switch, which is the downside of owning a business that becomes successful.
Correct.
A lot of people think like the hard part is opening, and no, it just goes on. You know what I mean? There's no day off, because there's so many people that depend on it. So I remember that was the feeling at first. I was very frustrated because I knew it happened on a weekend, and I was very frustrated.
Yeah. And it's, I think that's what makes it harder for people that are not able, like the normal grief would be jobs give 3 to 5 days for you to be with your family, to take time, and then come back to work. And that's not that that's enough time, but it's a separation from the moment. So because you didn't take that time, you came right back to work, pedal to the metal. And so sometimes we think, okay, well, at least he's getting his mind off of the big problem and keep it moving. But what you're doing really is you're putting all of those thoughts and feelings into that box and continuing on with life. And in the long run, that's not healthy.
But I did. I cried here. I screamed. But I don't know if I could have done it any different. I don't know if I would have wanted to do it any different, to be honest with you, because that's who I am. I work all day. That's who I like to be. So I don't know if I could have sat somewhere and just, I don't think I could have done that either.
So that's another thing about grief that is not a one size fits all type of thing. What we really recommend, so you said, what can you do? So journal, so you can start in the process of thinking, but really it's really what give the person peace and closure and acceptance. And there is no guideline for that.
What it gives me acceptance, or what gives me, and that's why I was able to come, is like the same reason I'm really not myself today or feeling low, is because, like, I feel like I did something with the name. See, man, like, he was, you know, he was. I like to say he was born at the wrong time, because he was very ambitious. He was very ambitious, and he wanted stuff. He wanted to do something big, but he never got the opportunity to do it because, he was an immigrant, right? So he came here. He had jobs, but he hated every job, every single job. And his dream was to open a restaurant. That was his thing. I don't know if you remember. So,
which is very similar, like you.
Yeah.
Jobs didn't work out for you.
When I used to, he liked business a lot. So
I remember that.
Every time I open a business, I go talk to him. I know he didn't really he would ask me questions like, what? But he would give me suggestions, and, it was pretty cool. He was a pretty cool dude, bro. I don't know he was just a really cool dude.
He was. He was an incredible human. And what I love about your dad, he was such an incredible human. You can see the influence that he played in your life, like with values. he was a really good dad. Like you can see, like the way he would give,
bro.
he would give everything that he
to
had
the last breath. No, to the last breath he gave. He left giving.
And that's how you are. That's what you do. That's what you do with our family. That's what you do with our kids. So I can see how those values were passed down from generation to generation.
Yeah, he was a good dad. I would never complain about him as a dad. He was rough, but he was a good dad. He taught me how to fight. You know, he did all those things. He worked really hard. I remember there was so he used to be a cab driver for a while. Oh my God, he hated it. And summer, I used to stay up all night till 5 a.m. So, and he would grab like a scooter or bike from the garbage. You know, in New York, the garbage is outside on the. Mm-hmm. He would grab anything he found: a skateboard, sometimes a toy,
recycle,
and he would go to. There was a place that sold a hamburger deluxe. Oh my God, it was the best. It was like in a plate and it's lettuce. You know, it was just a hamburger, a real hamburger, and he would bring that with. Strawberry thing, and we would just eat when he would get there. And it was so hard. I would watch like infomercials to try to stay up, and and I used to stay up all night and wait for him. And then he would bring it, and we would just eat it. And he would actually, I was so young, but he would actually talk to me like, you know, and tell me what his day, how his day went, all of that stuff, and. Then when he worked in NYU, he was an elevator man. Mm-hmm. It was the weirdest job. He used to say to himself, because in this job, the elevators were kind of automatic. He was just there to press the button.
I always wanted to get in an elevator with an elevator man.
It made no sense. And so I used to go on like Friday afternoon. All his bosses would leave. So then I would come. Mm-hmm. And I would do the rounds with him in the building. Aww. And then he'll buy me Blimpie. He'll give me money to go buy Blimpie.
That's where you like those sandwiches from.
I love Blimpie. He loved it too. And I don't know, I just really miss him. And I didn't get the goodbye I want.
So in grief, that is one of the most common things that I get when I work with my clients. The sadness that comes from not having that ability to say the proper goodbye or, again, close that chapter. One of the things I teach my clients is to take time to write those beautiful, powerful memories, because what they do is anytime that we're in a bad space or your brain cannot produce or we're stuck, you can always go back to that book that you're writing, to those memories. And they're really, really good reminders of that, what that human was and what they did for you and how they complemented your life.
So, yeah. But I will. I guess that's what I got to do. But I don't know. Today's just a tough day. A very tough day. I don't know why. I've been good.
Yeah.
It's been good. But I share his name. It's the same name. So, you know, one of the things that, bothers me the most is a lot of the things that I've done right now the past year that have been amazing. Mm-hmm. He's never gonna know what happened. So and the reason that bothers me so much is because I want them to see what we did with the name.
I know.
I really did. Because I know he wanted to succeed. So
yes, and even though his physical presence is not here, he is watching and seeing. What's that quote? Was that a really, really good quote, Lin-Manuel?
The legacies, the seeds we plant in the garden we never get to see. Yeah. I just wish I could see it. So, yeah, it's really hard. It's really, really hard. But I don't know. I'll cut that out. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know why today. So weird. So weird.
I think that when you get days like this, they're actually, I know they feel bad, but they're actually good days. Because what it does is I've been through the journey now for 4 years, and I don't get those days where I feel like that as often. But when I do get them, I change my perspective and I see them like, I still think about him. I still feel that pain for him. So it's painful while you're going through it. But at the end, when you look at like the whole timeline, it's really beautiful because that means that he's not leaving your memory. He's still present and marking those feelings so strong. It's grief.
Okay, so what's the first step of grief? The point of this was to turn into a lesson, not for me to like sit here and cry like a little, oh baby. So what should a person like me do? I don't think I did the grieving correctly. But again, I don't know how else I would have done it. A lot of people depend on what I do every day. You know, a lot of people make money on the work that I do. They feed their family based on that, and then people get the assistance they need in the mental health. And I think that that's what it did for me. That when that happened, I realized my role in what I'm doing. So one of the things that have always been hard for me is the belief in self, obviously, right? So I never, you like to say, like, if you, like, I say I'm going to quit, and you're like, oh, you good, I got to quit too, I'm not doing this. But until that day that I was sitting here in this office and I could not stop crying. And no one could help me. Not that nobody wanted to, you wanted to, but no one could really help you through that. That's the thing.
That is the thing.
It's the thing, you know, almost in everything we have in life, you could reach for someone to help you. And this is something that no one can do anything about. You're on your own. You have support, but no one can share that pain, take it from, like, no one can, there's nothing, which is the rough part. And it's like there's no coming back from it, you know? So, he was just a good guy.
He was.
He had a lot of honor. The dude could fight. I've seen him fight. He's the one that taught me how to fight. Bro, I'm telling you. That's where I got it from. Every day, like in those 5 o'clock in the morning sessions, now I call him sessions, he would just get up. I could be sitting. He'll be like, let's go. And I've got to be ready. And he was big. And I saw him once take on 3 people. I mean, it didn't go that well for him. But when I asked him, I remember when I asked him, like, are you okay? He's like, oh, I'm great. And then he told me, you just got to go. You know, you can't be scared of nobody or nothing. He's the one that taught me, like, everyone has the same thing you do. Everybody has the same bones you do. Everybody has the same blood you do. Everybody bleeds. So go. Just go. And he was that type of dude. I remember when we went to Disney, he was very grumpy too. When he wanted to. We went to Disney and you know in the line how they and we were all sitting there, and I guess this person bumped into him 3 times. He goes, if you bump into me one more time, move! We were like, oh.
And we had just started the day.
And I'm like, you gotta move. You know, so I don't know. I don't know. How do we change this into a lesson?
I think that the biggest lesson is to embrace the feeling. Like, you have to hug it. You have to sit with it. Allow yourself to feel it. Cry with it.
So you went through it,
yes.
Right? You went through it. I was there. So when does it like start? And not for me, it's people that are going through. When does it start feeling? I know it never goes away. When does it start feeling a little better? And how do you know you're getting there?
Wow, that's a deep question. I don't.
That wasn't on purpose.
So I don't know. How do you know that it gets better? It just does. It just does. Yeah. Again, that's why I think that it's not that you grieve wrong. You did it at a different rate. For me, I had to take a break. I couldn't come back to work.
Yeah,
I couldn't talk to anyone. I was under the covers, dark space for a very long time. But I was able to do that. I took off. I could not talk to anyone. So that space gave me the ability to grieve. And I was able to attend my dad's funeral. I was able to get closure in that way. And when a person is not able to get some of those things, that it leaves it open and it takes longer. So the reason why I don't see it that you did it wrong, you did it how you could do it with what you had at hand. Your circumstances were very different than mine. So I think that why you're here now feeling this way is also normal, because you had to go, keep going so you can handle business and our family and everything else. But now that like the dust is settling, now your body, brain, and soul, your heart are like, okay, let's go look at that thing that we haven't paid attention to. Now it's time. So probably that's what's happening. So I don't think there's when does it? It happens different for every person at a different rate. You just get better at handling those emotions.
Do you ever feel like guilty that they're not here?
So guilty.
That's what I'm going through a lot. I feel a lot of guilt. Not guilt because of the way it ended. It ended really bad, but guilt like I'm still here. They're not, like how unfair. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like you start thinking about that, which is weird. It went natural. Like he's the dad. He's supposed to go first, but I still feel like he didn't get the fair shot. He didn't get like a fair shot because the dude never got a fair shot. I don't know, he spent his whole life taking care of the family, and I don't think he got credit for that. For doing, he did a good job. Like, there's no way, like, it didn't matter what was going on in our lives or what was going on in their relationship. None of that mattered. He showed up. He was always there. Even when I know he was miserable, or he was always there. Even when separations happened, he was still always there. But he didn't stop.
But you see, that's the part where we see it differently. You said that he doesn't get credit. So credit is an individual thing, right? He is getting credit by you. Every day that you wake up, every day that you continue to do what you do, you're living his legacy and you're remembering him. Today was a harder day because you're crying. But
nobody told him.
But he didn't do it to be told.
I understand that, but it's yes, you're right. I don't do it to be told.
Exactly.
But still, I wish he would have been told more. I wish I would have told him. But the good part, like towards the end, it was getting a little rough because of the ailments, and to get people pissed because he would say stuff. He had no filter in his mouth. And sometimes he would say stuff to me, but you remember, I've never fought with my dad.
Never.
Ever. I've never had an argument with him. I've never made him feel bad. I would just let him rant. And he used to like going outside. He lived with us for some time.
Oh my God. Feeding the birds.
He loves feeding the birds. I remember he used to disappear from the house, and we had to watch him because he was already sick. But he would go and he would feed the birds. Yeah,
bread and rice and anything that was left over, and bring it in a Publix bag. And
he would sit outside and read his newspaper. I don't know. I just wish I could have shown him some things now, like, you know what he did, because it's what he did.
Yes,
it's what he did. He taught me drive. This dude, like, he was so poor, but this dude still got up. Like, you wouldn't know it by looking at him. He always had something. He was working, always something going on. He was always hustling. He was always on it, and he always provided. There's no, like, that was his, and that's what makes me sad. Now that we're in this new age where we're all starting to figure out, like, damn, we might not be treating our men that provide and the honorable men. We might not be treating them too well, right? It's you see it everywhere now, and he is a classic example of just that. It was like he was there as a tool to provide for everyone.
Great man.
I don't know. I love him. I always love him, always. And you remember when I started the speaking thing and the branding and all that. We were thinking of making a name for the speaking, just because Julio is not like a very brandable name. You know what I mean? Here, right? It's just Julio. So we were thinking about that night, and I was like, no, I want to get his name up there somehow. So now the name is so different to me. Put it everywhere. I love my name.
Like a badge of honor.
Yeah, because to me it means like good men. And I know that's not what it means, but the men that I know with that name have been men that try and are taking care of their families and all that. That's I just beautiful. Hope that he is in a good place. That's what I'm really hoping, because definitely needed to get rewarded for what he did. The dude really pushed. And he just would never like give up, or I don't know. He was a beast.
So what do you think happens once their body leaves Earth? Like, do you think in energy? They visit us. He sees what we're doing. Like, what do you think?
Honestly, that's a big question.
Okay, sorry.
I got it. I think we're just all energy. I think we're all one thing that is always around. You know what I'm saying? So I do think it's around, but I don't know if it's visiting or I know that's so cute. You love that stuff, but I think any energy that's around it, energy cannot be destroyed, right? So I think once the body goes, the energy gets recycled to where it needs to go, where the energy is needed at that moment, whoever makes that choice. So I think he is always around. I think everybody's always around. I don't believe in death. I think death is just a construct because we can't understand that there's something without the way we, looking pretty.
Well, I like to think that your dad and my dad
that would be a little
visiting
weird.
Our house every once in
Oh my god, that would be so weird. I would ask them both to chill out with that. Like, I don't know. There's ways of doing it. And that would be weird, both of them there, because there were two different people complaining. There were two. They would have got into a fight.
Totally. So strong-headed. Both of them.
They would have always been fighting. So, I mean, I hope so, and only hope so, because I want him to see what I did with our name. I want him to see what I did. I just want him to see that he did win. That he did succeed. Like, he didn't do all that for nothing. He wanted it. He wanted to be. I'm telling you, he used to tell me he wanted to be somebody. And he is, because my name is his name. This is the exact name, right? So, I don't know. I hope he gets to see. I hope he knows that it happened. Everything happened, and that I did speaking, that I got on stage speaking Spanish. I hope he saw that. Yeah. He knew I wasn't really good at the Spanish. I hope he saw that. I hope he got to. But it's all wishful thinking. So
I think something that helped me when my dad passed away and any person that has come through our office sees it. I have a tree in the front of the office.
Pedro and
his
Pedro.
name is, Gonzalo and Felipe. So Gonzalo is the big one with the big leaves. And they're big because they remind me of his hand, because he had really big hands. So what helps me with that concept of keeping his legacy, because for me it was really hard that when he passed away, he didn't get to come see my office. He didn't get to see he knew
That's
we
rough.
were
Like get to finally you get there, and
he knew we were on the way, because he would constantly ask, and we would share about that. But he really did, when he passed, that's when it really changed a lot for us, and that hurt me, and it wouldn't give me closure. So what I did was put his plant in the front, and every morning when I walk in, I say hello, and as I leave, I say bye.
Felipe? Oh, because
Felipe is the other one. The other one is partner, just the friend.
But why Felipe? Because it's a leaf.
Leafy.
You guys and your heart stuff is so weird. Like, because you gave it have friends like that, but those things do better than me here.
I mean,
y'all feed them, y'all water them.
Yeah. Of course, I have to. Every morning, I gotta say hello to him. So it has helped me. Just is remembering.
So getting an item. So when people keep the item of this, so that does help.
It helped me,
because people fight over the stuff of people, which I never understood. But I guess it's a part, especially if you know if you are attached to the memory of that.
Yes,
it really is strong. Mm-hmm. So. All right. Well, I feel better talking about it. Like right now, I'm telling you, I've been crying like uncontrollably all day. But still at work. But and I'm like, to give a lesson, but I don't know.
So,
I guess I got the lesson.
So what's the lesson?
You just got to keep moving and talk about it.
Yep.
Like let it out. Like not suffer alone. Which is what I usually like to do, but it's not good. It doesn't work. Mm-hmm. Like now, all of y'all help me. Everybody who watches help me, because I feel better. I do feel better. I do feel much better that I got it out. So yeah.
Beautiful, and that should be the lesson. Any person that's going through grief, find someone. Well, first, take some time to think about it. Allow yourself to feel those feelings, and then go talk to someone, whether that's a counselor, a friend, a family member, because you should be able to do that, and that helps. You're just letting it out. It's like pressure coming out. But
it could be difficult for males, though.
Yes,
I know it was for me.
It's very difficult
because to be again the whole week. Then damn, that thing is just like
to put yourself vulnerable. Yeah,
it's a thing. I don't know.
And if here we are, it's a year later after this happened, some people are like, it already happened a year later. So a man will withhold their feelings.
So nobody says that.
Right. But that's unhealthy. Grief is not linear. There's no timeline to it. You're going to go through the stages. You have to allow yourself to go.
Isn't that what? Say it again.
No.
Come on, say it again one time.
Linear? How do you say it? How do you say it?
That's how you say it. You're saying it right. It's just
my accent.
Linear.
Stop.
Linear. My God. Right. Okay, sorry. So I feel better. That was good. I feel better. What a weird way to let it out, but
hey,
that's
this
me.
Is your my
little craft. So person has to know that it's gonna be okay, and it really is. It really is, because if we think about like the basics of it, this is really normal. Mm-hmm. It's supposed to happen.
Yes.
We're all gonna pass, right? Mm-hmm. This is like a very regular. It's more. Think before this, I used to tell you all the time. It's such a normal. It's more normal than anything else, mm-hmm. right? Because it's something that everyone has gonna go through it. So your life is gonna go on. So that's one thing I kept thinking about. Don't mess anything up for this. And that's what I did. Remember, I went to my daughter's giving birth. Mm-hmm. That was a hard. You see, it was a weird situation.
That was very weird.
But I had to do that.
Right. It was a very difficult choice. Me.
So there you go. I could say it about that way. So my daughter his funeral was.
She was giving birth.
She was giving birth the same day. And there's something about me and my kids are like really tight. I was mom for a while. So when all of them were the girls, when they've given birth, they've wanted me there. Mm-hmm. Which is, I don't really see anything. I'm in the corner, but it's just, I guess, the point, right? And my daughter had you there for the last kid, right? Mm-hmm. So she was having a kid, and this was months before. She told me, I'm not having any more kids. I really want you to be there. And then this happened. Mm-hmm. And the funeral was happening and the same day. That's her plan. And I made a choice. And I went to watch her birth. And I've caught a lot of flack for it, but I don't know how to explain or how to show that is what he would have told me to do.
Right.
In fact, it is. It is. He used to, every time during other situations, he would say, don't come. In fact, that was the last thing. Don't come. Go to your family. Mm-hmm. That was his last comment to me. That's the funny part. That was his last comment to me. That was the last time I saw him. Last time I saw him, I told him I'm trying to fix what was happening so I could see you more. He said, don't. He said, don't come. Like, I really want to come see you again. Don't come. Take care of your family. And that's what I did. And it felt natural. I feel like I was honoring what he would do. I don't know. I know, but a lot of people tell me no.
But at the end of the day, this is your journey, and you're the one who, like, life continues.
And his name is Julius.
Yes.
His name is our name too, Julius. Well, it's Julius. You see how she changed it?
And Caba.
And Caba. So, I don't know. My morning was the morning, right? The grieving for me was very different. It was very weird, but I've had a really weird life, so I guess it's just par for the course. Right? Is that how they say it? Par for the course. It fits what I was doing. But yeah, I feel better. So yes, if you lose somebody or you're going through the grieving process, bro, sit down and talk to somebody. I'm so serious. I feel so different. And I don't understand why I was so sad. You know what I mean? Not that I don't understand, but it's like, it's okay. It's not. So yeah, that helps a lot. What else what little nuggets would you say else?
I mean, there's a lot of good books on grief.
Do you know one?
Amazon.com.
Who?
Amazon.
Oh my God, that's not a book.
No, I don't have
I know what you mean. But so look up stuff that helps you with grief.
Yes.
Definitely get a counselor.
Yes.
That's definitely. Mm-hmm. Actually, that is what I did that immediately.
Yes, immediately.
Immediately. So that helped me a lot. Mm-hmm. And just keep going. This honor. I think that's how I'm pushing. I'm honoring him. I want to put my name into places he would have never imagined. Mm-hmm. Ever. So he can live on a little bit. You know, like I want to do things that he wanted. And one down, business down. So that's, you know what I'm trying to say?
Not only that, your family, what you're doing, the work that you do.
That's where I learned how to be a dad.
Yeah.
He taught me. He taught me how to be a dad.
Every day that you wake up and you do you're honoring and following his legacy.
So are you, and so is someone that's going through that. Yeah, because that person's energy, even if, like you were asking, yeah, the energy is there. Whatever the interaction that you have with you, whatever experience they have with you, it's still there.
Yep.
It got you to this point, even if it's small, right? Everything is choices. Even if it's small, they're part of it. So, yeah, that's actually a good way to think about it. Purpose. again, purpose is great for grief, I think, because that's what allowed me to come in here and still work. Because I knew I was doing it because I started wanting to break the cycle that the whole thing came down. Right. Make something out of our name. And yeah.
You channeled that energy and that pain.
I kicked ass. I was crying the whole time while I was
super productive. It was crazy while crying.
Yeah.
And I kept telling you, like, I don't know how you're doing this. Like, how can you do it? But you're explaining it. Is you channeled all of that sadness, all of that grief. I'm going to keep this going. I'm going to keep this name going. So that's pretty cool. That's
all powerful. Right. Well, that was good. That was a short thing. Awesome. You think that's helpful what we say too?
Yes, I hope so.
Anything you think as a professional somebody should hear?
I think you should just know that you're not alone. And even if you do feel alone, take a minute. And if it's not anyone in your circle that you can talk to, then find someone.
Talk to that person. Miss Carolina says she thinks they stick around. So talk to that person.
I do.
Actually, I'm talking. As I'm crying, I'm going, Poppy.
I know.
I'm like talking to him, you know.
And that's healthy.
So yeah. Actually, it is. All right, so talk to yourselves more often. Is what we're saying? No, it's a joke.
Journal.
I said talk to yourself more.
Well, then don't talk to yourself.
No. Yes. If that helps, and it's just knowing that it is going to be okay.
It is.
It is the one thing that is going to be okay. If you want it to be okay, because the person is gone, nothing could be done about that.
Right.
It's done. But you are still here. Mm-hmm. You still have an opportunity to live your dreams and conquer your world. Mm-hmm. So, I'm doing it for him. I'm gonna do it. I want to put our names like. I was going to say something that's corny and overrated. In the stars for him. Because it's something he didn't think was possible.
Right.
But he wanted it. He wanted to succeed. And I just hope he saw it. I know he saw my energy. He would talk to me all the time. He would be so proud of me. Actually, he's one of the only...
He would tell you all the time that
he was one of the only people there that would, in that
proud
world.
Of you, how you handle...
He loved my son so much, man.
And the girls too.
And he was when I had the kids, he was the only one that would check on me. He would check on me. When I was with this person and with this kid, he would come, he would give me $10, he would give me money, he cared. He was a very genuine person. You couldn't get in his bad side, but once he was down with you, he would fight for you. And you better
not get on his bad side.
Yeah, he would fight for you and he would do what you got to do. All right. Well, thank you for joining us. I don't know you think it was good?
I think it was great.
All right. Well, if you need anything, give us a call.
Yep. We're here.
1-800-62... No, I'm just playing. If anything, just reach out if you need a counselor, if you need Carolina type of person to let it go.
Or a coach type of person.
Yes, or a coach. We're here to help. And just keep fighting, man.
Yes.
Yeah, I feel good.
Yes.
Thank you, people, for helping me get through today. They helped me.
Yes.
Look at that. You see? Look at what your energy does.
Yep.
So, thank you for helping me get through this today. And I will get up and hit it hard for the rest of the day.
All right.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Read after me. I am power.